Rounds on the explorer path start with the one who will be the first witness presenting the first to be floated. I present Natalia to Mary and stand to the side, witnessing, breathing to the same rhythm I see the water moving them up and down to. This round is being filmed during the second module on the explorer path. In their first module, students in teams of 3 explore all the applications of a single theme, such as presses or the use of their knees, and learn from each other's feedback. Then in a round, each does the basic moves from one side, introduce their theme, and explore spontaneous moves while the other is a witness. Then the other does the other side. The round concludes in a short tandem. One supports, while the other explores his or her theme. By this second workshop, students are ready to explore all the moves that are possible in a tandem once the basic moves have been done on one side. Getting her arm out of the way, I hold Natalia's hara, one hand just below her navel, the other under her lower back. In my own hara, I settle into and stay in the bottom of each breath until her breathing in draws me up out of the emptiness. Once I am fully engaged, each time I am drawn up, my hand under lifts a little higher up her spine. When it reaches a point under her heart, my other hand is drawn to the heart center. I hold her shoulder between both hands and explore moving in ways that open it. Freed from the Watsu's continual attention to supporting the head and keeping the neck comfortable, I can forget where the head is and focus on whatever I am holding and exploring. Mary has the head. As we can see, she continually adjusts her support as needed. I can bring my whole body into play, such as working her trapezius with the back of my arm as I hold her arm to my chest. In the sense that our whole being is in every part of her being, I am holding her whole being to my chest. This is one more way to celebrate union on this path and come to know our wholeness everywhere. I do not go away from her to go to the next place, but follow whatever connection it has to the place I am just leaving. Again, clasping her leg, I am holding her whole being. I explore different ways to hold and stretch, while Mary adapts her position to best support what I am doing. The containment of being held from both sides adds to the union being celebrated and our wholeness. In the explorer tandem round, after the first explores with someone's arm and leg from one side, the other explores in that order from the other side, while the first supports. In developing the tandem Watsu, we discovered how important these clearly defined roles are. When both start exploring on their own, the chaos can be disturbing to the receiver. But when one is present with responsive support, the other can explore in their own way, as Mary is doing here. She is not trying to match the specific moves I made from my side. On the explorer path, there is usually a progression, a format that leads into opportunities for creative exploration instead of a sequence of specific moves. The format for the tandem round on the explorer path is very simple. First one on each side, then from both sides, one mirroring the other, then one at the head and the other at the lower body. Since it is a round and everybody shares every role and knows every position they will be in, it is very different from the tandem Watsu on the other path, where the client's only role is that of receiver and professionals need training in addition to what is required to be a practitioner. Those who have attended the 16 hours of basic Watsu and the 16 hours of explorer Watsu are welcomed in this workshop. After each has worked from their side, they float the one between them. Mary, who had just been the explorer, assumes the role of leader. I watch and try to mirror from my side everything that she does. Hopefully, she limits it to moves that can be mirrored. With two of us, there is no limit to the support of the upper back and head when the legs are brought up for a stretch. In the next stage, Mary goes to the head and I go to the feet. After so much opening and closing, the spine is ready for a long traction. Mary is once again in the role of supporter while I explore. Having tractioned the spine, this is a good moment to send waves up. I have found that if I cross my arms and fit someone's soles to the tops of my shoulders, pulling their feet as I roll their soles over my shoulder usually sends waves up the back. I use my own body to prop her feet as I stretch her. I press one leg at a time into this stretch. If I had someone who might be uncomfortable with me between their legs, this would be as close as I would get, the leg being a secure barrier. I would return to their side to hold their hara the same way I did at the beginning. But this is on the explorer path, where everyone knows what it is like to be between each other's legs without any intention, and how powerful the stretches can be from this position. With both her knees over my shoulders, repeatedly lifting and pulling back rather than rocking forward can initiate another wave up the back. Holding her hara from three sides, I drop back into the emptiness in my own hara, just being with her, doing nothing. Without trying to make it happen, with one of us at the base and the other loosely supporting the head. Whatever has been circulating through her body is now free to rise up her spine. We return to the two sides and slowly float her towards the wall, where we will do the tandem finish that has become the way we end all our rounds on both the explorer path and in trainings on other paths. Holding her thighs, we lower her feet as we lean her back against the wall. The hands that lowered her legs are simultaneously placed on her heart gates. Looking at each other, our other hands simultaneously are placed and hold her hands to our heart centers. Again, looking at each other, we simultaneously move her hands out, our middle fingers reaching up under the centers of her palms, as our other hands hold each other's hands with the lifted middle fingers. We open the circle as wide as possible and stay in it until we are all ready to let go. In a round, the person at the wall would present the one in her right hand to the one had been in her left hand when everybody is ready for the next turn.